What's up, everybody? Give it a second here. Let guys get logged in. How is everybody doing? Leave some comments down in the chats. If you are new here, this is called Off the Dock. Off the Dock, where we talk fishing, the business side of fishing a little bit, and also our everyday lives in fishing and how it affects us. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, thumbs up, 5-star review, all that good stuff, because that's how the internet overlords say we get found. So we definitely need to have that. So without further ado, I will bring Rick on. Rick is the owner and CEO, well, not totally owner, but part owner, if I remember right, of Monsterbass. What's up, Rick? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. Looks like we got a good crowd already starting in today.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
My wife says my room is a little too dark. What do you think?
I think it's perfect. I mean, it's mood lighting. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Yep, I'm rocking the shrimp tank in the back to light the room, you guys. YouTube
Nice.
secrets. YouTube secrets.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one for me.
You got the nice California sunshine behind you. I don't think you need any more help.
Fair enough.
So was it like 70, 80 degrees there today?
Yeah, it's cool, 79 degrees. Just sitting in the backyard. I was sitting in my office, but I was baking during an Instagram live feed, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to spend another hour in here. I need some fresh air."
Definitely. So, for those that are here that don't know who you are, who are you? Who is your daddy, and what does he do? And I have to say that because you guys had the best governor ever not too long ago.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, all right. For those that don't know me, my name's Rick Patry, and I'm the founder of Monsterbass. I've been in this industry for about 7 years, and it really happened by chance. If you had asked my mother 10 years ago who's going to work in the fishing industry, she would have said 100 times out of 100 my brother, because if you gave him one day left on this planet, the kid would throw in a dip, go to Bass Pro Shops, grab some stuff, and go fishing. I mean, that's what he loves to do. But I was working at this agency, and these guys came in, and they wanted to build a website, and they told me their idea. And they wanted to build a fishing report website, and they wanted to charge people for it. And at the time, I was like, "That's the silliest idea." I'm like, "There's free fishing reports everywhere," So I'm a big believer in karma. So I sent them away, and I said, I can't take your money. I don't really buy this idea. But I kept thinking about fishing, and my brother literally would talk about fishing all the time. And so I went back to these guys, and I just gotten my Birchbox, and for those who know Birchbox, it's like a monthly subscription box, and you get samples of product, whether it's for your hair or for your beard or whatever. And I get them sent to me, and I was like, why not do one of those for fishing? And I sat on the idea for 6 months, and lo and behold, a company called Mystery Tackle Box appeared. Actually, it was Tackle Grab. I think they were the first. They're no longer around, but they appeared, and I was like, they took my idea. So I didn't do anything about it. But then I went back to those same guys, and I said, hey, I've got another idea. And I told them, and then we birthed Lucky Tackle Box. And, I worked there for about 5 years, and I loved that. And it was a great ride. Loved being there. And we just ultimately, had a difference of opinion. They wanted to go the route of manufacturing their own brands and putting them in the box. And I thought that the right way to be different was to continue to partner with the best brands, have your own brand of product, but regionalize the country so that you're not sending the same baits to the same guy in Michigan as you are in Florida, because time of year, season isn't the same. And and I really I thought that was the way to go, and they had a difference of opinion, and it's their right, because they were the ones funding the company. And I left.
Kind of know how that feels.
Yeah.
That's why I left my
last job. And Lucky Tackle Box can I say their name? I just did, I guess. But, you know, they owed me a lot of money in the process and they didn't pay me. And so I sat back, and when I thought about what I was going to do for a career, I love this industry. The outdoor recreational industry has the nicest people. Like, you don't go into it to make tons of money. You go into it because it's a lifestyle industry that you really love to be a part of. And literally, I've met the nicest people in the, you know, everywhere I go, they're the nicest people. And I knew I wanted to stay in it. I just knew that, like, I wanted to do something different. And, you know, when they decided that they weren't going to pay me, I decided to go toe to toe with them. And I figured if they're not going to pay me, I'm going to take them $1 at a time right back. And so I went and I wrote a business plan, raised some money, and, you know, here we are today. We're almost at our 1-year anniversary. You know, we shipped our very first box on June 1st. So, yeah, it's been pretty exciting.
So speaking of that, we're 12 boxes in. Do I have the count correct? Exactly 12 boxes in?
June, July.
Or are we not counting that first one?
I know, count whatever. I mean,
I thought the first one was May. Because I signed up in April, I think, myself.
No, I pre-ordered. I started pre-order on May 15th and shipped the box. We started shipping June, whatever that Monday or Wednesday was, June 2nd or 3rd.
So we're 11 boxes in.
Yeah.
So out of those 11 boxes, which one are you the most proud of?
I'm most proud of 2 of them. The very first one, because I was really proud to see an idea that I had created from the ground up. Like, it wasn't an original idea because, I mean, there's other boxes, but it was mine, and I'd written the business plan. I'd gone out and raised all the money, and to see this idea come to fruition and ship out the door was really exciting. And to watch them kit that first box, watching it go down the assembly line and being there, it was a really proud moment for me. I think
remember that Instagram post of the first conveyor belt of boxes, actually.
Yeah, and I think that the second one I'm the most proud of is the Strike King takeover. You know, I remember when I was at Lucky Tackle Box, one of the things that we did was I bet the farm on social media early on, and I was telling people, like, you know, because my background was in digital marketing, so I wasn't someone that had been in the fishing industry my whole life and then decided I wanted to build a product. I came from digital advertising and marketing and happened to get into this into outdoor recreation. So I was promoting social media when brands were like, yeah, we might get a Facebook page. And I'm like, no, you got to do this. And so to be like 6 months in, right. But, you know, 5 years ago, that's not what people thought, you know.
Yeah. And MySpace 2.0.
Yeah, you know, and love them or hate them, you know, the Guggen Squad proved that social media has its place in fishing. But yeah, I'm most proud of the Strike King box because for me, it felt like it was the holy grail to convince one of the top tier brands to take over my box. And because they bought in, believed in my philosophy and my model of how we're going to leverage sampling, how we're going to leverage influencers, and how we're going to leverage the general public to build brand awareness and drive sales. And to do it with a brand like Strike King was really special for me.
That was probably the coolest use of marketing with a box that I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see Pradco also came on board right after that with the Jason Christie box,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that, actually, because that dude's a hammer, and it's interesting, you know, if you look at his preference of lures, he fishes a lot of old school stuff still that is not fatty stuff, and he catches fish.
You know, I was a little worried, like when he told me, because he picked it. Like people are like, don't believe that he picked it, and I kid you not. And when he picked that cotton cordell, I was like, oh no. I'm like, people are gonna like just tell me that it's like Walmart. And I looked at him. I said, you love this bait? And he's like, he goes, Rick. He goes, I've been fishing that bait since I was a kid. He goes, this is one of my favorite baits. He goes, when I'm having a day where I just can't get a bite, he goes, I'll throw that cotton cordell on, and it just gives me the confidence to know I'm going to catch something. So I was like, all right, as long as you say so. So that to me was, that was a tough box to follow, right? I mean, Jason Christie box had to follow Strike King, and that wasn't an easy. That wasn't, I think for anyone following Strike King, they had their hands full.
Well, and Strike King had some really cool new releases that were relevant to what's hot in the industry. The Ned rig stuff, the cutter worm, the Ocho, the Ned bug that they had. So they have a lot of things. Plus, they had new colors. Yeah. And Strike King is one of the hot brands between Yamamoto, Z-Man, Strike King, and Rapala. Those are probably the 4 hottest big brands. Yeah. And then you have small time. Well, not small time's not a good word for it. Regional players like X-Zone that's getting really big. They're starting to sign elite guys like Brandon Polinick. Yeah. And X-Zone is a Canadian company. But they moved to the U.S. So where I'm at in St. Clair, we've always known who X-Zone is, especially on St. Clair. Their Dropshot bait has been a quiet, hidden gem in many tournament guys' boats, along with the Erie Darter from Poor Boys. I mean, that was the staples for years for drop shotting on Erie and St. Clair and the St. Lawrence River. Yeah. So now it's good to see them kind of evolve into what they are now. They've really grown a lot in the last 6 years. So. Yeah,
they have, and we're doing some exciting stuff with X-Zone. So the June box, actually, Brandon Polinick picked 3 baits. He's actually recording videos for him right now, and we're going to put in the first 10,000 boxes. He picked 3 soft plastics that are going to go in the box. And then the other cool thing that we're doing is he's actually designing 2 baits right now with Jim from X-Zone. I don't think I'm allowed to say what they are, but we're going to feature those in the September or October box. It just depends on the delivery, but 2 cool brand new baits that I think everyone's going to love. And those are Brandon Polinick designed straight from X-Zone.
Is one of them a drop shot bait?
Maybe.
Well, every time Polinick comes to St. Clair, I know what he loves to fish on a drop shot. I've seen it on his deck, and he's talked about it a lot. And if it's anything along those lines, I'm going to be happy with it.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting. And then we are going to do one more takeover. And actually, I've had to, this whole Corona-19 thing or COVID-19, I'm sure everyone's tired of talking about it. I know I am. It's affected everybody, but it's really proving to be a challenge to put together regional boxes. Like next month, I'll be honest, I think the boxes are amazing. I don't think we did the best job from a regional perspective because we're forced to make the boxes. Like, I'll give you a good example. I put a Booyah Buzzbait in every box next month, regardless of your region. It's a great bait, but if I was really being true to the regional aspect, I probably wouldn't have put it in the box, but I didn't have a choice because, certain factories are just shut down. They're coming back up online right now, and everything's delayed. So I think the boxes are great, but there's some challenges. July.
Don't be so hard on the buzzbait thing because the end of May, on a warmer spring, that starts to come into its own on largemouth lakes. So don't be so hard on it. It might be a smidge early, but it's about right. On a warm year, we got a little bit colder spring, so it'll be a little off for this year. But 2 years ago, I was throwing topwater into May. So
there you go. But so we're the July box. We're actually doing a takeover, and Lunker Hunt is going to take over the July box. mix of everything from. It's going to be a mix of baits from all of their series of baits, and I think it's going to be a really good mix to expose everyone to the Lunker Hunt brand, who they are, and what their process is in terms of designing baits, who they are as a company. So I'm kind of excited about that one too.
The River Fisher said the Strike King box influenced him as an influencer.
All right.
Which is always good to hear. I got a feeling he enjoyed the ChatterBait that was in that box, the good old Thunder Cricket.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Speaking of bladed jigs, have you heard or have you seen anything about the new Mustad one?
I have not.
So Mustad has one coming out where I'm waiting on the pricing, but I think we're going to feature it in the box. I think it's coming out around August. It's called the Scatter Shad. Mustad Scatter Shad. It's in the catalog, I believe page 82 or somewhere around there. And the difference being that the blade actually has holes in it, so that as it's moving, it's bubbling up water, and it's supposed, and then they'll tell you why it's better than other bladed jigs. But it just goes to show you, man, the bladed jig craze is hotter than ever. Between the jackhammer, the Thunder Cricket, and now this. I mean,
I got a bladed jig on paper I've been wanting to make. I just have not gone there.
So why don't we make it? Let's make it.
I want to patent it, quite honestly.
Well, all right.
Well, let's put it this way. The headbanger and the scrounger had a baby. And I've had this on paper for 6 years. So this is well before the scrounger had those awesome tournament wins down at Kentucky Lake or whatever it was last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It is actually something that I picked up from crappie fishermen down south. But using something that we have up here in Michigan for ice fishing, and I tried it for panfish, and I watched it in the water and going, I need to make this bass sized. And I drew it up. I just haven't got to making that first rough prototype. So we'll see if I get around to it. I got a lot of things on my plate. So
fair enough.
But I'm trying to find a jig company to work with that I feel comfortable working with and doing it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because but if I wait too long, someone else is gonna do it. That's the only bad thing about it.
So you might as well step up and do it.
I know.
Listen.
To it. It's on the to-do list for this year. Honestly, it really is.
You heard that, guys, right? I want you guys to take the scrounger. And I want you to take the yeah.
But even by that description, you're not going to get what's in my head.
I know.
It's pretty sweet, and I think it's going to be a little more durable than some of the other ones out there. ChatterBait's extremely durable the way it is, so can't beat that. Now, Matt Heron here is super excited about my jig in the May box.
Should we talk about that? I mean, do you have one there? God,
it's in the boat. I kind of failed in that regard, but give me a second. I'll pull up the Instagram post from Super K Jigs that has them on the table to show everybody.
So guys, one of the other things that we like to do a little bit different is I like to grab, I can put any bait in the box. Hold on just a second. I have tiny little terrorists in my house. Hey,
tiny little terrorists.
Excuse me. Hey, both of you, come here. Come here. Yeah. I'm online. Come here. Here, look. Yeah. So, you need to be quiet only because I'm online, all right? Okay. All right, thanks. Tell your sister. I have tiny little terrorists running around my house. Ma, the meatloaf! Okay.
So that there is the jig, and it's hiding the head, which is awesome.
Wow.
The head color, I beat them up over the head color a little bit. I was like, I want something different. He's like, well, this is what we normally
Good.
do. I'm like, no, I want something special. Got to give me something special. So it's a really cool green pumpkin pattern. We're gonna call it that. But
Okay.
I wasn't trying to.
And is that a swim jig?
That is a 1/4 ounce swim jig that's going to be in the May box for the Midwest.
Oh, all right.
And I posted that video today on my channel. If you haven't seen it after this, go check it out. The very first time I threw that jig was up on the flats here in St. Clair. Think California Delta, but a little bit smaller scale. This type of stuff, a lot of grass and reed beds, and ran into like a massive wolf pack of like 1 and 2 pound largemouth and had a ball for like an hour.
Nice.
And I've caught some other ones on it since then too, but no, I've been trying to get that 5 pound largemouth, and between the boating ban, which really screwed the pooch,
Yeah, totally.
the weather turning cold again on me. So hopefully this weekend I'm going to get out and get a couple studs on it in the canal systems along St. Clair, because we got some dynamite largemouth that people just don't know about. 5-6
Sure.
pounders. And everybody overlooks them and goes straight to largemouth or smallmouth land.
Smallmouth. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but the goal for that jig was to mimic a Calico Crawl,
Okay.
which is a really cool crawfish. I'll pull it up so people can see what it looks like.
Okay.
Open this up. You'd think I'd have this better laid out, but no, I totally screwed that
Yeah,
up.
you know.
Yeah. Let's see. And of course, it's a really small image, so it might not look that great, but we'll make this work here. But a Calico Crawl is one of 9 species in Michigan. And the one here in the picture, the tips of the claws are normally a little more orange than that. And this one's on a very well lit thing, so it looks a little more yellow, but they're really that green, like a see-through, like gourd kind of green color.
All right.
And they are one of the most prevalent crawfish in Michigan.
Ah.
So that and the northern crawl are the 2 most popular when you go to the bait stores and you buy live crayfish. So I wanted to mimic that, and there's not. I haven't been able to find a jig that mimics it really well until this Super K jig. I think we came the closest to what I had in my head, but I think what it is that what I have in my head is impossible to make in a skirt right now. So not a terrible thing. We'll get there one day in technology.
Yeah, for sure.
We're getting there. Skirts are getting cooler and cooler. I mean, they got iridescence added into the silicone now, and they're doing some pretty trippy stuff. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
But that was the goal. But it ended up mimicking a yellow perch way too good when you put like a bone color or a white swim bait on the back side of it. So there's some smallmouth opportunities for guys with this that are very overlooked, particularly here on St. Clair and on some of the bigger Great Lakes. Let's see, Saginaw Bay, there's smallmouth and largemouth opportunities. Green Bay, there's some smallmouth opportunities for this jig. Lake of the Woods, Mille Lacs would be a phenomenal place for this jig. So I think guys are going to like it. I hope they do.
Nice. Yeah, well, we're going to find out pretty soon because they're boxing those things up right now.
I had a few guys already ask me, can I just buy the jig? And I'm like, well, if Rick has any left over, maybe a month or 2 after that box, there might be some, but I don't think there's going to be left over.
I have none left over, but I would guess. So I know Super K is going to put a coupon code in the box, and actually, I'm going to text him right now and find out if we're going to have any for sale. So let's see. We'll find out. All right, people.
Rick, do you have a bathtub box for the Michigan guy? Steve, describe bathtub box? I am curious.
A bathtub box.
There's some top water opportunities. There's certain inland waters where they're getting close to the 60s in a couple places. But most of the waters are 48 to 56 right now in Michigan. Most of them. So Still in pre-spawn. Bladed jigs are still
Yeah.
killing it. Flukes are starting to really turn on, and that is one of my all-time favorite soft plastics, the soft plastic jerkbait. The Zoom Super Fluke. One of my favorites. So,
I
what
like it.
what lake or river do you call your home waters?
Me? All right, so I grew up fishing. I grew up in Syracuse, New York. So I grew up fishing Oneida Lake. And I kind of have an affinity to that because I know that if I'm fishing on Oneida Lake nowadays, it means I'm back with some of my friends that I grew up with, and I'm probably having a pretty good time. My mom lives in Western New York now, and she's got a house. We have a lake house on Chautauqua, and she also has another house down the road, and that's right off of Erie. So, I'm pretty blessed that when I go home to see my mom, I get to fish, Chautauqua and Erie all the time. But when I fish, I'd really call Oneida Lake my home lake, even though it's in New York and I'm in California.
Oneida's a special body of water. I mean,
Yeah.
Champlain, Oneida. Before St. Clair got to where it was, that was some of the premier smallmouth waters for a long, long time. St. Clair was always good, but until the goby showed up, we didn't have the weight that we have now. And I was just reading the study for they do a yearly status report of St. Clair.
Sure.
And the age class and size structure is incredible right now. The amount of 6+ year-old fish we have is awesome. But this lake right now is all 3 and 4 and 5-year-old fish. So these are all your 3 to 6 pound fish right now. So it's going to be awesome to see what happens. We need to get some of these big tournaments back in town, especially with the botched Elite Series and Major League and everything all be jacked up. Maybe they'll show up and come play this fall because there's some giant. The sacks that guys are getting this spring has been. I've seen a couple 30-pound bags this year. Guys sending me scale pictures.
Wow.
And that's unheard of on smallmouth waters. I mean, it's just stupid good.
Yeah.
There's only 3 bodies of water that I know that consistently the last 3 years have pumped that out. Green Bay, St. Clair, and Mille Lacs. Those are the only 3 that I know that consistently put that out. That's midsummer bags. They're getting 30-pound bags too. Not just those peak, full of eggs and the fall. So,
do you when do you think we're gonna see an Elite Series out on like the Delta? Like, I know it's such a journey, and that's what the big thing is.
150 back in the early 2000s. I thought that was the last time. It would be nice to see them come over there, but I think it's the money thing for a lot of these guys.
I think it's the haul, and I think that
it's a 5-6 day drive.
Yeah, it's a trek.
Take, for some of these guys.
Yeah, but maybe if you started the season there and worked your way down to Florida, I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it, and when you think about exposing, especially in a growth in a growth category like that, the Western region, what a better way! I can't think of a better way for bass or even the MLF to really grab some new audience because we keep going to the same places over and over and over.
Yeah, well, I was talking with Informative Fisherman on one of his live streams on Instagram, and it's amazing. He's extremely well versed, and we know some of the same people. I didn't realize he was friends with Randy and Kevin and all those guys at DNR Sports, which I found really interesting because he has family in Kalamazoo area here in Michigan. But the one thing that struck me is how different anglers are in the West Side versus the East and the Midwest and the South. Like the East, Midwest, and South, we're all kind of on the same page. Midwest is kind of its own thing because of how much smallmouth we got, but we get the largemouth deal too.
Sure.
But the West Coast is just a whole nother world, and not because it's California mostly. It just is a totally different type of fishery.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have Florida, you got Northern Strain, you got Spotted Bass, you got Smallmouth. You guys have them all.
Right.
You spoon feed them rainbow trout, So they get massive. I mean, how much more pampered of a fish can you guys get than a largemouth that eats 2-pound rainbow trout every day? That's just insane.
Yeah, I know. It's true. It's true. So
So
what do you think? Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go.
No. I'm leaving it
No,
to you.
you're leaving it to me. Where do you see monster bass in 5 years?
5 years. Monster bass will be the #1 subscription box in bass fishing, and we will have Monster Bass branded baits at every major retailer across the country. And we will have a probably a secondary market offering. I'm not sure what it is. We'll definitely have a kids box, and we'll definitely have a multi-species, because I think one of the things that is really important is making sure that the next generation of anglers stays engaged. And I think why the box is such a good thing is because as little kids we grow up, we go fishing, and then we get older, we go to college, we get a job, we get married, we have kids, and then our free time is not our own. It's we have to ration it out to a variety of different things. And I think what the box does is the first time that kid comes around and says, "Dad, I want to go fishing," he hasn't gone in 10 years, and he goes down the aisle and there's a ton of stuff. So I think an introductory box is something that no one's really focused on, and so it's something that we want to bring to life. And I think with that offering, it'll be something that'll really just focus on a very specific technique each month. They don't need 10 baits. They just need spinner baits. That's all we're going to teach you. I think we'll offer a multi-species offering as well, because there's a ton of people that fish both, and this gives them something to extend their subscription so that when they've got enough bass, they can migrate over to that. And then I do think, because we, let's face it, people that love to fish, love to camp, love to hunt, they love the outdoors. So I think you'll see the parent company of Monster Bass. So the parent company of Monster Bass is called Outdoor Playground. I named it that for a reason, because I did envision that we would be going and extending our offering and expanding as we grew in size. And so I do see us expanding out of bass fishing a little bit.
I'm looking forward to those kid boxes, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a exceptional idea, because other boxes haven't really gave kids the foundation to move on to some of the advanced stuff. They're just throwing the advanced stuff and expect them to pick it up, and they're missing a lot of fundamentals that would make these guys better anglers in the long run. That should definitely need to be taught. And unfortunately, a lot of parents don't teach it because they're not. Parents aren't as engaged in the everyday life as kids as they used to be. As bad as that might sound, I mean, you have both parents having to work full-time jobs. It's tough to be engaged with somebody. That's where grandparents are supposed to come in handy. And I never did a lot of hunting and fishing with my grandfather, but I did gardening and other outdoors things, and got appreciation for nature that way. My dad took me fishing, but I rediscovered fishing in my early teens, like junior high. Moved near my what I would call my home water, which is the Raisin River in Monroe, and fell in love with bass fishing and smallmouth, and now that's my career. So it happens. But it'd be cool, because that will help keep our sport alive and healthy if we get these kids, a really good foundation in the sport, teach them the basics, and then let them progress at their own pace. one of the stores here in Michigan, one of the tackle stores I deal with, Lyman's up on Houghton Lake, they have a kids fishing club where they have like this little membership deal, and they're kind of doing that same deal where they have like the lure of the month that they give each kid that lure for free, and they have this membership. They get a little tackle bag. And he's doing an awesome job with it, and there's so much tourism on this lake because a lot of people have their second homes up on this lake.
Sure.
He's seen his youth anglership go through the roof the last 2 years because of it. And I think there's an opportunity to take that kind of thought process nationally. And it's what needs to happen. Yeah. And I think a kid's box is a good way to do that. You know, make it special, give them some good stuff, but teach them how to use it. And then, especially because every kid has a cell phone now, let's promote the heck out of these kids when they catch a big one. You know? Yeah,
for sure. And I think that the kids box is less brand dependent as it is on technique and education, because listen, you give an 8-year-old whatever, a spinnerbait. It doesn't matter what brand it is. At the end of the day, it comes down to let's really give them, you know, you make it negligible. Make it like $9.95 a month. It's something that grandma or grandpa can't just like push out the door and be like, yeah, I'll give it for him for the year. And as long as the kid smiles, it's worth the $9. But let's really focus on one technique a month. Like this month, all we're going to do is teach you how to fish spinnerbaits. And you'll get a video from someone like you or someone like Nick and someone else that gives you like just the basics. Like just go practice fishing a spinnerbait all month long. And as long as it's kind of relevant to, you know, where time of year, you know, the kid's gonna have a good time, get a few stickers, and he's gonna start to build out his tackle box. I think
definitely got to give us stickers. I mean, you never have enough stickers. It don't matter if you're 2 or 20. You got to have stickers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. On the sticker note, if my warehouse, you know, my warehouse makes mistakes, just like every warehouse on the planet, and we can forget a pack of hooks. No one's gonna say anything. But God forbid that sticker's missing. Oh my God!
The number of people up last month for that. Like, where's my sticker?
Yeah, like the
Corona one.
Yeah, like I can't believe. Like I made that Corona one as a joke. I literally found a picture and I sent it to this guy and I said, "Hey, can you put the MB on the fish's sweater, and can you put this?" I just made up whatever text I wrote, and can you put that on? And I'm gonna put it in the box. And I put in the, I literally had 100 left over. I put them on the website for $1. And I sold out of those stickers in like a day. And it's the #1 support ticket that I have. Hey, are you going to get more of those Corona stickers? And I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Well, I think what for most people, it's going to be a like nostalgia thing when they have it on their boat or they have it on their tackle box or on their workbench or somewhere in their house. They're going to go, I remember that sticker, and it was during the stupid time we couldn't go fishing.
Right.
All we could do was go fishing. You know, it'd bring back a lot of memories, good and bad, for everybody. Yeah. You know, so, I dug it when you first. Did you first show it on?
I did
on the brand ambassador chat thing. I
did.
It? I was like, oh, that's gotta be on a T-shirt. That's gotta be on a hat. It's like gotta be on everything.
Yeah, so I'm making some new ones. I got this new one of the fish, and the fish has got a mask on, and that's coming out this month. And then I know it's going to be so popular that I went and I had some really big ones made. The biggest size that I could fit in a box, I'm having like 25,000 of those made, and I'm going to send them out the following month because I figure people love them. Might as well give it to them.
I got a great T-shirt idea for you.
Okay.
If I can touch you with my rod, you're too close.
Ooh.
Social distance right in really small print.
Oh. I love it. I think I mean,
it'll definitely get some attention when people wear it.
But then I'm going to have some mom in Alabama who's going to tell me.
You live in California. I can tell you're so worried about that. Just do it.
Let me tell you a true story. You ready? So when I was at Lucky Tackle Box, you know, I came out with the magazine, right? And, you know, that magazine was like 16 pages, full color. Like that was a legitimate, like we put effort into it. And I decided one month I was gonna put Brooke cover. Remember?
Oh, you broke up there. What was that?
You remember Brooke or not? Oh, I said 1 month when I was at Lucky Tackle Box, I created this. We had a magazine. It was like 16 pages. It was legit back in the day. And 1 month, I decided to put Brooke Thomas on the cover. You remember Brooke?
Oh, it rings.
She was like so. Yeah. So Brooke Thomas was like the first like super popular like bikini fishing girl, and I decided I'd put her on the cover, but I wasn't gonna put her in a bikini top. I was like, because she was a stick. That girl could fish, but she was never taken seriously because she was just like this hot girl. And so on the inside, in the article, I told her no bikini pictures, but I put a picture of like she was wearing a tank top. And I got so much mail from like moms in Alabama that were like, how dare you send this to my son? And I'm like thinking to myself, wait a minute, hasn't your kid ever been in a pool before? Like, so everything that I do, I got to think about because I'm going to get some mom.
Is that
her? Yeah. She can actually fish. I mean, she really can. She grew up, her grandfather taught her how to fish. And I told her a long time ago, I was like, you really should diversify because at some point, it's kind of like going to Vegas.
Yep.
When you're young and you're the cocktail girl at the tier 1 hotel, and then as you get older, you move to tier 2, and pretty soon you're 65 years old down at some little hotel.
Slot
right. So I love the idea for a sticker. I just got to think it through, but that would be funny.
I think a T-shirt would be better, and like have like a stick figure holding a fishing pole. Have the stick figure holding a fishing pole. That way, you're talking about fishing.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Say it again. So if you can touch my...
If my pole can touch you, you're too close. Social distance properly.
If my rod. Because then you get to play on words.
Yeah, if my rod can touch you, you're too close. And you could even have the stick figure wearing a mask to add to the whole...
Oh, I like this a lot.
I am an ideas guy way more than an execution guy.
If my rod can touch you, you're too close.
Stick fisherman with a fishing pole and a mask on.
Stick figure with a mask. All right, I'll give it to him tomorrow, and we'll hashtag it social distancing. And I don't know. We'll see if they're capable of coming up with something. That'd be funny.
We have to come up with a better hashtag than social distancing because that's used for all this government crap right now.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a way to break the internet with something stupid. How do we break the internet?
What do you guys think? There's a bunch of people on here.
Throw it up in the comments. We'll see if we get some good ideas. Now, while we're waiting for that, Paul G is reading my mind. Look at this. Look at this. What did I tell you?
Oh, you did say that.
Not set up. 100% not set up. I'm not saying St. Clair first. We can do Chickamauga or something, or Falcon Lake or Okeechobee.
I'll bet. Yeah, but here's the thing. I'll bet half the people out there, of course, none of your viewers, because these are the intelligent ones. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say half of the people out there don't know where Chickamauga is.
They know it's down south. Here,
do they?
Well, how about we do this?
Okay, I'm listening.
What if you take the Bassmaster Top 100 list?
Ooh, okay.
And then take the lake from the northeast, the lake from the Midwest, the lake from the south every year and make that a special box. Because I'm sure you could probably work with Bassmaster to do a pretty good cross promotion with them for this whole deal.
They might like that. That's a good idea. The other idea for a box I had was What if it contained all Bassmaster winning baits? You profiled each bait, who won you, and then got them to do, like, you did a card with, like, you know, Hank Parker, and Hank tells you all about how he fished with whatever he fished with and how he won what lake.
You could do the past champions box.
Yeah,
you
that's what I mean.
Rick Clunn, Kevin, Iconelli, maybe even just do like maybe or even the Angler of the Year guys too might be a good one. What are their top 5 baits for that year they won Angler of the Year?
Yeah, something like that. Like, I love the idea of themed. Yeah, I love the idea of themed boxes because, you know, I mean,
it's special.
Yeah, it's special, and you can do, you know, you can come out with a themed box, you know, a regional box every month, and you're going to do your best, but it's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, because, you know, your lake's different than my lake, and, you know, you're doing the best you can. But the theme boxes, I think, are pretty cool. Like, and that's why I've always been fascinated with the entire, the idea of the Bassmaster Classic Champions box.
That would be a cool one. That would be cool, because I would love to see Rick Clunn, what he used for his first one, his second one, because those are the ones I wasn't around for, because I was pretty young or not even born yet.
But then you got to ask yourself. Then you got to ask yourself, can you even get those baits anymore? Right? Like, who knows?
You could probably get the modern version, you know, of what it is.
Oh, I mean, true story. Speaking of Rick Clunn, true story. I'm still working at Lucky Tackle Box, you know, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from someone in support, and she calls me up. She's like, Rick, she goes, I was talking about this support ticket that I got, and someone in the office said that it was important and I should probably call you and tell you about it. I'm like, okay. They're like, so I'm talking with this guy. His name's Rick Clunn, and his son gets our box, and he wants to know if I'll do this, if I'll sponsor some little high school team. And I'm like, wait a minute. Who? And they're like, Rick Clunn. I'm like, it can't be the same Rick Clunn, right? Like, what are the chances? So I log in, I look, and then I'm like, wait a minute, where does Rick Clunn live? And I'm like, oh my God. So I pick up the phone and I call, and Rick Clunn answers the phone. And I'm like, just, you know, and I said to him, I still don't believe it. I'm like, is this the Rick Clunn? Like, you know, like, I'm just having a hard time believing that Rick Clunn subscribes to my box. And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, my kid loves it. He goes, you know, he loves getting new stuff. And he told me all the reasons why he picked us over someone else's. And it was just really cool that he talked to Rick Clunn. And then I sponsored some, you know, a rural high school team, and I worked with his wife on it. It was really cool. They're super nice family.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Rick is the closest thing to a hippie fisherman that's a redneck that you'll ever come to. You know, just hear him talk about Zen this and Zen that, but he's so southern at the same time. It's a cool mix.
Nice.
He's a cool guy. I got to talk to him one time, and I was like, this is freaking awesome. So working at the shop I was working on in St. Clair is pretty cool because how many of the elite guys came in.
Sure.
And you would think these guys get as much tackle as they want. You know, about half the field gets everything they want. They can just ask for, and they get it. And so most of them don't have to pay for it. They still come in and spend money locally. And I asked, who was it? Chris Lane.
Okay.
And his wife came in. I said, why, you guys, especially him, like, you can get anything you want. Why do you guys come? We really didn't expect you guys to come in as much as you guys are. He goes, because the mom and pop tackle store is the lifeblood of this industry.
100%.
You know, as much as the big box guys support us because they have the payroll to do it, we really want to keep these mom and pops around. You guys have the regional stuff, the hard to get stuff, the new stuff before it gets big. You know, that's why we shop here. We love it. Yeah. So that's everybody that's on here needs to remember that these local shops is where it's at. And then boxes like Monsterbass, we can bring these newer brands. And there's shops that might get introduced to these new brands because of the box.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a great promotional tool for the companies involved The ones that get it, get it. The ones that don't, they just don't. They won't get it because they're not willing to change with the times, I think. So
Yeah.
Any good hashtags?
Tell you another fun. Tell you. No, we still don't. No one's got good hashtags. I'll tell you another really funny story. You know, at the beginning of this, you asked me like how I got into the industry, right? And you know, as a kid, I loved to fish, but that doesn't mean I know all the players. Like, you know, I remember watching a Bill Dance video as a kid, like, well, on TV and stuff, but like, I didn't know all the players, right? Like, because I didn't watch the Bassmaster Classic. I wasn't into any of that stuff, right? So I remember one time when I first started, and I called my dad, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you guys know I'm going to Florida next week. So if you try to get a hold of me, I won't be at home. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, oh, what are you going to Florida for? I'm like, I'm going fishing. He goes, you're going fishing? I'm like, yeah, you know, I told him about my new job and how this guy wants to take me fishing, and we're gonna do some filming. And I told him, I said, yeah, I'm going down to fish with this guy Roland Martin, and you know, I'm gonna stay at his house. And you know, I don't know if it's gonna be fun or weird, but you know, I'm going fishing. My dad says to me, yeah, my dad's like, wait a minute, you're going fishing with who? And I tell him, he goes, do you know who Roland Martin is? I'm like, no. And he's like, he goes, Rick, he goes, every kid in the 70s grew up watching Roland Martin on TV on Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings. He's like, how do you not know who he is? I'm like, I have no idea. And so then he conferences my brother, and my brother's like, oh my God. He's like, can I go? And I'm like, no. And it was just really funny that, again, like, I wasn't the one that they thought would end up in the fishing industry. And now here I am getting to do all these things. And my dad and my brother are just like, God, he has no idea what he's like, that he's getting to fish with like these people. Now, of course, I realize who all these people are, and I appreciate it. But, you know, at the time when I first started, I had no clue. I just thought I was staying at some minimum penitentiary summer camp down there at the marina. So.
I tell you who I wish I was around for was when Al Linder was fishing bass tournaments. Al Linder and Roland Martin were probably the two best guys that left and just totally left the tournament scene behind because they had other opportunities in the business. Roland had his TV show. Al had Lindy Fishing Tackle. Him and his brother started that. Then they did In Fisherman Magazine. Now there's Linder's Angling Edge. I mean, they did all right for themselves. But those two guys were dominating the bass scene at that time. Roland was more on the bass side. Linder didn't do as much. That was back in the 10 fish limit era. And they were still holding them up on stringers. That, you know, that's how long ago this was. And I still to this day would love to see some of these OG guys like Bill Dance, Larry Nixon, Hank Parker, Al Linder, Roland Martin. Get these guys all out in a major league fishing style tournament and see who still has it. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool to see. I would probably pay to see that event. So if someone from Major League Fishing is checking in, pay-per-view fishing event. There you go. The Legends
for sure.
The Legends series. Get these old guys that have to be either retired or fished a bass event 30 years ago and fish that. There's some old school guys that have not fished tournaments other than local derbies that would pop back up for that. That would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Just make it more of like a charity kind of spectacle than anything. So we do have a few hashtags.
Okay.
Fishing distancing. We're getting there. We're in the right direction. Don't get hooked. I think get hooked would be better. That would actually be going to go along with that t-shirt, get hooked.
Well, let's see.
Fish distancing? I can't even pronounce that one.
Fish distancing. Oh, social fish dancing. Get Hooked has 80,000. It's like a Wow.
How active is it?
Well, I mean, 2 hours ago, someone did it, and it's a picture of a bunch of peppers.
Okay.
The last, the last fishing pick was 4 hours ago.
Okay, well, maybe it's being
And
used.
it's snuck. I don't know.
The
Wow,
river
what is
fisher
that?
wants to go to St. Clair with me. I don't know if I'm the best choice to go to St. Clair. I'm not the best fisherman out there by any stretch of the imagination. There's better guys. But
I'll go if you tie my knots for me and
I'll just pick them right up the dock.
and put the worm on my hook. You guys all fish with worms, right? I'm just kidding. True story. Another true story. I showed up. I won't. Can I say who? I showed up and to go fishing a few years ago, and we were filming content, and I brought my gear with me, and I went online and I bought the most expensive push button baitcaster I could find.
Omega? Was it
Yeah.
Omega?
It's the chrome one, right?
Oh, the classic chrome Omega.
Sweet. I don't know. It's like classic chrome. It was like $75 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I brought that and I put it on a St. Croix. Like, I don't know. It was like a St. I can't remember. I think the rod was like $300. And I put it on that and I showed up on day one and everyone looked at me like, and I pretended I was so serious that that's all I was going to use. And I used it for the entire first day. By the end of the night, those people were like, they'd had a couple drinks. They were like, I can't believe you showed up and you're fishing with that. We thought you knew how to fish. And I was like, it's like, guys, I mean, come on. I'm just joking. I'm just messing around. Like, I did it. Like, literally the videos, I'm using my push button. It was so funny.
We ought to do a Monsterbass team get together and do a Barbie pole derby.
I'm totally down with that. I think we all need to go down to Alex Rudd's house and stay in his backyard, or we need to get a house somewhere. Like, I don't know. I'd be willing to do that a couple times. Like, I'd be willing to like spring for a house and pick a couple locations.
I found a house on Houghton Lake.
Okay.
Which puts us about an hour and a half from Traverse City area, and a whole bunch of really good northern Michigan lakes. You can ask Ben. And then you got Houghton, you got Higgins, you got some river stuff.
Yeah.
And we could dock our boats and plug them in and not have to pull them out of the water, which would be cool.
Yeah.
And he's one of my customers, so he's okay with us as long as you don't burn it to the ground.
I'm not going to burn it to the ground.
As long as we don't pull a Guggen Squad hotel fiasco, we're okay. I've heard stories. I don't know this firsthand. I've heard stories. The kids like to party.
I'll tell you the story.
You know the story?
Sure. So we were at this. I was at Lucky Tackle Box, and you know, one of the things I used to say with my team was like, listen, I will get some rooms for iCast. You guys can double up, triple up, whatever. And you know, all the little influencers back in the day could go. And this is back when, like, you know, Noah Pescatelli's in high school and Andrew Flair's like 12 years old, and they were all on my team. And I had Lunkers TV and Andrew Flair on my team, and Mystery had the rest of the Guggens because they weren't the Guggens back then. And so we roll into iCast. I got rooms for my entire team. Well, Mystery didn't get rooms for any of their guys. So they showed up and they were pretty much homeless. And I was like, listen, guys, you guys can crash in our rooms. That's totally cool. Well, that night, and they're all underage and they're all like, hey, can you guys buy me beer? And I'm like, listen, I'm not buying you guys beer because, you know.
No, this ain't good.
Yeah, that's not going to end well. So
this is a corporate thing. That's not a good look.
Right. So they got their own beer, and the next morning I get a phone call and I got to go look at a room. And turns out that like AP and One Rod got into a fight and started trashing stuff. And then this and that. Like it just turned into like a disaster. And yeah, they trashed the room. And you know what? And the one thing that always pissed me off about it is like, listen, it's really small. You gotta be grateful. You gotta be thankful and gracious. And they never once, like, I gave them a place to sleep, everything, and they didn't even thank me for it. The next morning, they like I'm standing right there, and not one of those little guys was like, "Hey man, thanks a lot. That was cool. Thanks for hooking us up. We know we're on mystery, but you hooked us up anyway." Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They were young and dumb. And something else. So we'll leave
yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
So Backwoods thinks an old school box would be great. 80s and 90s.
Okay.
We could get a cream floating worm in there.
Yeah.
That would be epic. We'll go old school floating worm, an old sluggo.
I like it.
That would be sweet. And these are companies that are still around.
Yeah, cream.
Cream's still around. Lunker City's still around. That's who makes the sluggo. That would be sweet. We could get the old jitterbug in there, the old wiggle warts, if Rapala would help us out. Rappel's a tough one, man. They're a worldwide company. They're not a North American company. It's a different ball of wax going after those guys in Minnesota. So
yeah, it is, and they're
shut down right now, anyways. They can't even ship anything.
Right. Yeah.
So Gabe Austin keeps saying hi to you, Rick.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I think that's our young man from the other night on Instagram Live.
It is. Gabe's a big fan of Monsterbass. We're a big fan of his, and we appreciate his support. Gabe, I sent you a box in the mail, and it should show up hopefully in a couple days for you, buddy.
Backwoods Bassin. Rick, we got to get your PB numbers up. Let's see what are your PBs.
So my personal best bass is a 5.1 ounce smallmouth, actually. Can you believe it?
Put some pressure on Informative and just tell them for the next month, I'm in your boat. You're taking me fishing.
It's true.
Because now is your time to go get that 10-pounder over there. Now is the time.
as soon as he feels like, as soon as they feel safe up there, because he takes care of his wife's mom and stuff, I'm gonna head up there because you're right. I mean, I should be in the backyard. I mean, the guy lives on a private lake where he's pulling PBs for me out of his backyard every day.
Yeah.
So
if only I had that in my backyard to film content during quarantine.
Unbelievable.
Some of us get lucky. That's all.
Right? So.
The river fisher, almost like a high school reunion for old anglers. I like that idea, doing the old school stuff. That would be cool. You could definitely approach Strike King, Pradco. They have plenty of guys, on their staff still. Denny Brower, the king of jig fishing.
Yeah.
Hackney's kind of taken over that spot in the forefront for Strike King, but Denny Brower, man, him and his son, I looked up to Denny when I was a kid. He is the reason why I picked up a skirted jig for the first time, was watching Denny Brower on TV. The only reason why I picked one up. And when he fell off of all the major league, bass stuff, I stopped fishing him for a while. And now I'm starting, the last 5-6 years, I started fishing him even more than what I used to. So, but he's the reason why I started fishing a Bitsy Bug, 3/16 ounce, black and blue jig. That's all he would throw. Give me black and blue. Any combination, black and blue.
Nice.
That's all he wanted. And it catches fish.
Nice.
It ain't glamorous, but man, does it catch fish. Especially in dirty water where he lived. That was a killer combo color. I know somebody earlier was asking about lures for stained water. What's your favorite? If you could pick one lure for stained water, what would you pick? And stained water will say a foot of visibility or less. I can't find the thing. I posted it somewhere.
I don't know. What's wrong with a spinnerbait?
Nothing wrong with a spinnerbait. Catches fish.
What do you like?
Colorado or Oklahoma. A Corona and a nice lawn chair. Because in Michigan, we have clean water everywhere. That water like that doesn't happen too often. No,
Right.
I would fish something loud. Always something with a lot that will make a lot of noise, will move a lot of water. So this time of year, a spinnerbait or a chatterbait would
Yeah.
be two of my bigger things. But I'd put very big trailers on them to beef up that profile so the silhouette's better. Um, Something bright like a chartreuse and yellow,
Sure.
a red and black actually works extremely well. Only problem is northern pike really love that color. Orange and black would be another good color. And these are colors that you don't see guys down south throw. Orange and black is not thrown down south.
Yeah, they do not throw that.
Orange and black is definitely a Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin deal.
Yeah.
But it catches the heck out of fish in dirty water.
Yeah.
Spinnerbait, chatterbait, a lipless. Those would be, if I want to fish moving baits, that's what I would throw.
What time of year you like throwing like flat-sided crankbaits?
Early April for about a week or two if the weather plays nice, but it doesn't happen every year. It really doesn't. I mean, it's weird. The fall, like when the fish are keyed in on shad, that's when I would probably throw it. So as we get into the fall, if we get some stable weather in October, November, that'd be a really good time to throw it because these fish will transition from the shiners to the gizzard shad and the LY up here and really key in on that different motion, that bigger profile, that flatter side. But that's my personal preference. Ben probably has his preference because Ben fishes dirtier water on average than I do, even though we're only an hour and a half apart. Because where he's at, that little corner of Michigan has just dirtier water on average because of the couple river systems that he lives around that feed most of his lakes up there. Which is interesting. That little corner of Michigan is like the southern version of, it's a northern version of like Indiana. It's just dirtier water on average, but the rest of the state's gin clear or like aqua blue and teal blue water. So Barbie pole box challenge. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a Barbie pole challenge for a while. Just never got around to it.
Well, let's do it.
Someone has a Corona sticker that they're selling for $100 or best offer. No,
you know what?
Ballers.
I'll give mine away for free.
Ooh, there we go. Oh, the river fisher, dude. Rick, I gotta tell you a story about that right there.
Okay.
That is the only inline spinner I would buy in my teenage years. Didn't matter if the water was clean or dirty. I threw the piss out of that. Number 3, number 4 maps. In the black fillery, which was the black and orange dots with the dress squirrel tail. Dude, growing up on the Raisin River, that was one of my go-tos for a long time. And then I learned what a super fluke was and then forgot all about it.
That's funny. I think the first lure I ever threw was the Red Devil. Those spoon. Do you know the Red Devil spoon? Oh my god! It's just like
you're talking Daredevil or Red Devil?
No, it was a Red Devil. Let me look it up.
Because if you look up Red Devil, is that Al's Goldfish? Because if it's a Red Devil, I believe that's Al's Goldfish Lures knockoff of the original Daredevil, which was in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah. It's the red and white striped one.
Yeah. So that guy, I'll show what this is probably the one you're talking about. I'll pull it up on the screen. This is probably the one you're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the one that is the original. That guy right I'm pulling up a Dick's Sporting Goods page, sorry. But Eppinger is made in Dearborn, Michigan. 100% American made, still to this day. That is the originator of that style spoon.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the original.
Yeah.
They still make all their stuff in the little factory in Dearborn, Michigan.
Love it.
We need to get them in the box one time. for a throwback box. Do a bunch of old school classic lures.
Yeah, you could do that in like, you know, you could do that in for like you know, your January box or something.
Yeah, something oddball. Military coming by?
Yeah, it's Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Oh, North Korea's coming with China this time. Red Dawn 3. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I know all about Three Rivers, buddy. I know all about it. I need to get up there and go fish with them.
Nice.
So if there is one thing you would change in the fishing industry, what would it be? You could snap your fingers and change it instantly. What would it be?
I could change anything in the fishing industry.
These are these hardcore questions that the media doesn't want to ask Trump anymore. You know, these hard ones.
I mean, what would I change in the industry? But I don't really know. I think that the whole sponsorship thing is, I understand why it is the way that it is. I don't know. Let me think this. This is a tough question because
Backwoods Bassin would like to see lower prices. And
yeah, but
everybody would love to see lower prices, but I think we would see lower prices if we didn't have the inflation and the dollar issues that we got in this country, quite honestly. But that's a whole nother very broad topic to go down, and I don't want to go down that road. I'm not an expert enough to do it. I have had plenty of economic classes in college, though, but I understand the premise.
yeah.
But, yeah. The pro staff patch pirate mentality.
Yeah.
The patch pirate mentality was one thing I would love to see go away. Granted, some people grow out of it and they learn the right way to do it. Other ones, they're 50 years old and they're still patch pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't really respect I get it, but like, you know, you sit here and you talk about and you sell and you tell everyone they got to fish with this, but then you don't even throw it.
Yeah.
Come here.
Uh-oh. Is this the better half?
It is the better half. She's got a meeting tonight. She's got to order some food, and she's getting hangry.
You going for ramen, Thai, Chinese, barbecue? What are we doing tonight?
We're ordering from Sweet Greens.
What is Sweet Greens?
I'll pick it up. I'll have the cob.
Okay.
Here, just give it to me. I'll order. I can do it. I'm a multitasker, babe.
He's a CEO. That's what he gets paid to do.
That's right. I'm the CEO. Yeah.
What is a hybrid hunter? I got to look this up. What is a hybrid hunter? Who makes it?
I'd like to see the hybrid hunter in all of our boxes. Yeah, what is the hybrid hunter?
I'm guessing it's a crankbait because the first two things are Strike King and crankbait that come up in Google.
We're waiting.
Oh, that okay.
Strike King's bringing back a bait this year. An old school crankbait that hasn't been around for a long time. From a company in Texas.
Yeah, it's this one. It's this one. Let me get just the picture up. 1 second. There we go.
Babe, you want to get on film? Why? We're trying we're trying to boost our numbers and increase it.
Today's not a good day for anything.
You look fabulous.
It's not about how I look. It's just I'm under a lot of pressure right now. But thanks.
Ooh.
Hold on. There we go. Is that it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I was reading some stuff on Bass Boat Central on that. There is some controversy with them bringing that back or bringing out a Strike King version of it.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it Strike Pro out of Japan? It's
It is.
supposedly the originator
Korea.
of it, and Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
interesting.
exactly what it is.
You know what's funny? That bill was originated by a company in Poland.
Mm.
What the heck's the name of the company? I know Rapala uses it. Nils Master uses it.
Six Sense uses it. There's a few of them.
HRT.
Yeah.
Hearst Fishing.
Yeah. This bait has been.
Yeah, it's not the body, but that bill has been around a long time.
Right.
That body is different and similar to a lot of things out there too.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be an interesting one. That would definitely be a really good river bait, and I could get why our guy here wants to have it. Because it is going to run shallow. It's going to want 1 to 3 footer probably, depending on how it's weighted. So Jason would like to change the amount of hate among anglers that keep fish versus catch and release.
Yeah.
I think it's gotten a lot better, Jason, what it used to be. There's still some guys, but for the most part, we're all, if it's legal, it's legal. Do your thing, you know?
Yeah.
So are you bummed that ICAST is canceled for the year?
I am. I'm disappointed because it's an opportunity to see a lot of people that I only get to see once per year, and I really look forward to going. And I'm bummed that I'm not going to get to see like all the new product. Like it really is a power pack 3 days.
It sounds like the bigger companies are going to do like virtual showcases.
Yes.
And it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But,
I would agree.
But a lot of these companies are not going to have that personal orders with the big retailers and all that stuff. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be an interesting year. I mean, the COVID stuff is definitely going to make it really rough this year for a lot of retailers. Some areas worse than others.
Yeah, and once again, it's going to affect the small. And once again, it's going to affect the small businesses because the rabid baits of the world, they're not going to have the ability to reach buyers. It's going to be a struggle.
Yep.
So
exactly. I mean you got if I remember right, ICAST has 2 rooms. There's the small vendor room where it's all 10 by 10 booths basically of people you've never heard of or have a small manufacturing fronts. And then there's the big guys that have some of the bigger mid-sized guys will play in that room too. But that room that nobody ever sees or talks about is where a lot of innovation comes from. A lot of small Japanese companies, Tekler Frog came from there, and Booyah saw that and saw an opportunity, made their own version of it really quick.
The Toad Runner?
The Toad Runner, yeah. So I've thrown them both. And in the full size, the Tekler's better. In the small size, the Booyah's better, in my opinion, for my fish that I fish.
Wow.
But that's just my humble opinion. But I will throw a Zoom Horny Toad before I throw that frog any day of the week, but that's just me. Unless it's really nasty, scummy, then that's when I bust those out. I do like that you can tune the tails. That's the cool part on the Booyah one, the tunable tail. I like that. So.
Well, what if I told you? What if I told you that the Toad Runner Junior is going to be in an upcoming box?
Hopefully, it's in the Midwest box because I would like that. It's not. Why not?
Because
be a great June edition.
Well, oddly enough, it's going to be in the June box, just not in your region, because I made the promise to put the Z-Man Sling Blade, whatever.
The spinnerbait in the...
Yeah, I had to. If I didn't, people would lose their mind.
I have not fished a Sling Blade yet. I've sold a few, but I have not fished it.
Well, there you go.
I have a lot of spinnerbaits, so it's hard for me to go out of my way to go buy more. But I always like getting stuff in the box to go try that I haven't bought yet.
Oh.
So are we going to have any super flukes in the box?
I had super flukes. I don't know. Don't know. Maybe.
just so everybody knows, I've asked Rick for Super Flukes and Midwest Box so many times, and I'm alone in this. I can tell you that. I'm the only one that wants it, selfishly. But
Good.
we could talk about the donkey rig if we put the fluke in the box. That's all I'm saying.
The donkey rig.
The further south in California to go, it has different meanings.
True.
So, I'm kind of bummed iCast is canceled because I was actually going to take, before all this COVID stuff, I was going to take a week off from work, go see my buddy in North Carolina, go down to Florida, and take my vacation time to go to iCast. No matter what, I was going this year.
Nice.
And now I can't. So I don't know how I'm going to use my vacation time. I might use it next week or 2 weeks from now for turkey hunting. Say I'm checking out for a week to go turkey hunting / making videos. I don't know. So.
All right, hold on a second. Hey, babe. I checked out, but you're not logged in.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I ordered through Postmates, and they don't have the delivery option. I'm gonna put that option.
I got it. Don't worry. I got you covered. So, look at me multitasking. That's what I do.
River fisher. You could if you do donkey rig fishing, you'll be good. You should be good. In fact, I think Zona has a cool video on it, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it might be a few years old, but Mark Zona did a really good video on it. The last time I fished it for white bass, believe it or not. But I got a picture here. I can pull up a picture of it really quick. I think Wired to Fish might even have a really good video on it.
I think Wired to Fish is up to some interesting things right now.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
How interesting?
I don't know.
Can't talk about interesting?
No, I don't want to speculate because it's all just, then it's fake news.
What, didn't you just blend in with everybody else?
Yeah, who wants that? Ooh, look at that.
So, not the greatest picture in the world of it. But essentially, what a donkey rig is, you got a barrel swivel, another barrel swivel, a short lead that's about half the length as this leader, and there's flukes on each one of them. And what happens is the baits will crisscross like a school. This was the Alabama rig before there was an Alabama rig. But it wasn't as good for deep water fishing like the Alabama rig was. So, you can do it. You can rig that lower fluke on this one on a weighted hook, like a belly weighted hook, and you can do some stuff with that too. So I've caught white bass on that. I mean, I've used it for that type of stuff a bunch. So,
nice.
Brian's asking the question.
Ooh, good question.
Have we gotten an update on this yet?
Yeah, so I actually had a conversation today with about having a Canadian version of Monsterbass and what that would look like. It's not as easy as you guys would think, right? Like, there's two ways to approach it. Shipping in Canada could cost you anywhere from, $6 to $12. And then when you add in the price of the box and everything else, like and then potential for duties and taxes, like it's a lot of work. And I just don't know. I want to make sure we do it right. Like, I would have to charge shipping. Mystery, what Mystery does? Mystery drives the boxes. They put the boxes in an 18-wheeler, drive them across the border, and drop them into USPS or drop them into Canada Post. I'm a 4-person company, 3-person company. It's a lot of work. I've got to weigh the risk versus the reward. And so for right now, the answer is no, but it will happen in the future.
one of the other challenges, like you mentioned, was the duty and tax side of things, because so much fishing tackle is not made in the United States or in Canada.
Right.
They ding the stuff made from overseas. Rapala, just to give an example, the wholesale cost for a retail store to buy a Rapala original is more than the retail cost here in the States to buy it through distribution for them. So that $7.99 Rapala original here cost them $8.99 or $9.99 to buy before they mark it up for the retail. That's a major challenge because of how Canada taxes the heck out of stuff that's not made in Canada. They don't tax stuff made in America as bad, but they do still tax it. But we'll see what happens with the new trade agreement. Some of that might change, at least with U.S. manufacturers. But there's not a lot of manufacturers of fishing tackle in Canada, believe it or not. And all of them do really well when they pop up. Right. You know, Hooked, X-Zone did well because of English Choice does well over there. Is it Hooked? You talked about it on Instagram not too long ago. A Dropshot bait. They got bought up by Scumfrog, that American Baitworks company. Yeah. They bought them. Yeah. I can't remember the name. It's Hook something or other, or Get Hooked or something like that. That was another one. That was a small 2-3 man operation that got big in Ontario, but then couldn't keep going because there's not enough money in it with the Canadian market the way it is.
Yeah, Canadian market's tough because, you know, there's not that dense population centers like the United States has.
Yep.
And so it's just really hard because everyone's just spread up, you know, everyone's just spread apart.
Exactly. So I think we did enough for tonight, don't you?
I could always talk, but yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, there's still people still listening, so as long as.
So, do we have a special code that we could throw these guys since they've been on for so long?
Yeah, we could, or we could give something away. You could pick somebody and give them a box, and you give me their contact info. I'll ship them a box full of stuff from my bedroom, or from my office. My bedroom. What am I, 12?
We got to at least give them a trivia question. Make it a little hard.
All
right. Let's see. What was the topwater bait in the Jason Christie box?
Oh, I know.
I hope you know this one.
I had to think about it.
The first one that guesses it gets a box. How about that? So we're going to look in the comments. First one that gets it.
Come on, Frank the Tank. You don't know it? He's just letting someone else win because he knows. He doesn't want to take it from someone else.
Set the Hook. Yeah, that's the name of the company, Brian. I could not remember it to save my life.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
TJ Her 25. Right? Or was it a junior? Uh-oh. I don't know if it was a junior or not.
Oh, well, let's just verify. Hold on. I'll verify right now on my channel. I'm pretty sure he's got it right. I'm pretty sure that's right. It was a junior. It was definitely a Zaraspook. Who knows the color?
Oh, it doesn't matter. He got it right. He said both of them. So, and he was first.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Frank the Tank said junior. We need to find out if it was junior or not. Frank the Tank.
Was there 2 topwaters, or was there just one?
Just one. You're my boy, Blue. Yeah, it was Bone.
Yep.
6X was right, but was it a junior?
There it is.
Well,
there it is.
It's a junior.
almost positive it was a junior.
No, it's a junior.
I
God,
get a better image of it.
6X. Spot on with the color. And it was the junior. Frank the Tank. Good work.
There we go. There we go. See, that's perfect. That's the booklet. So who we give it to?
Frank the Tank. All right, Frank.
Two right at the same time.
We're giving it to Frank the Tank.
All righty. Frank the Tank gets it.
Well,
so
why
Frank,
don't you get Frank? No, I know Frank.
You know,
I know Frank's info, but you know what? We don't know TJ Herd 25. So TJ Herd 25, why don't you email me at rick@monsterbass.com. Email me your address. Remind me that was on this on Justin's podcast, and I'll send you out a box of some kind too. So
there we go. It's up on there. Did I spell it right? Yeah, I spelled it right. So
all right, guys. Well, listen, man.
Thanks for putting up with the time zone difference.
I appreciate it.
Time there, and I'm getting ready for bed here. So
right on. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I hope you have a
get
great
out
night.
And go catch some fish tomorrow. I think I got a whole bunch of product reviews to do.
Good.
I got my cameraman. I can finally put him in my boat that I worked out a deal with to get some free camera editing work. So
Sweet.
I got high hopes for these videos. So
awesome.
Nice being up here. I can't speak. It's late. Thank you for coming on tonight, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Yeah, I had a great time.
So that's it, guys. Tight lines, happy casting. I am working on another video that you guys do not want to miss on the channel. I talked about it tonight as my favorite soft plastic of all time. So there's your hint. Haven't looked at the footage yet, so we'll see if it turns out good. But I got to work on that video here shortly. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Tight lines, happy casting, and we will see you in the next video.